Hello and welcome back into Centex Primetime. I am your host, Jalen Gillis, getting ready to bring you through the primetime topics in sports, not just here in the Central Texas area, but from all around the nation. Folks, it is the 1 year anniversary show here today. 1 year ago, we started here, Centex Primetime, man, and I got some of the guys that started it out with me here today. We got a very special show for you here today. We'll talk a little bit about, of course, the quarterback battle going on in multiple places. Cleveland's got one going on. The Indianapolis Colts have one going on. Last week of preseason coming up. First week of football coming up for high school and college. So we got a lot to cover here today on Centex Primetime. I want to thank everybody for joining in with us here today. Like I said, 1 year anniversary show here today, folks. We're going to get right into it so we can get it started here for today, everybody. First off, thanks for tuning in on YouTube. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, share this stream as well. Do the same if you're watching with us over on Facebook as well. Well, like I said, we're going to get right into it. We got a full house in here with us here today, folks. To my left, we've got the WISD Hall of Famer, the former Texas Tech Red Raider and former San Diego Charger, Mr. Wayne Walker, in the building with us. On the other side to his left, we've got one of the most well-known people in Waco, Texas. Everybody jump in the comments. I know y'all all know this guy here with us, Mr. Rocky Miller, in the building. Fellas, what is going on?
Hey, man, what's going on, man? 1 year.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And it's a wonderful thing. And to be doing it with the two guys I've been doing it with all year for this whole 1 year is great, man. So.
Absolutely.
Hey, man, you know, it's a milestone to make it a year.
Yes, sir.
Taking on this challenge of creating something, bringing it to the people, having a vision to do it, you and your father and your brother working together, seeing how you guys have kind of took the reins on this thing and just tried to building it as you're flying it, so to speak, man.
Yeah.
I'm just happy that you guys chose myself and Wayne to be a part of it, and I just want to thank you for giving us the opportunity to do what something we would do anyway. Argue about sports.
Right.
Yeah, we would do this. We would do this anyway, even if we weren't on TV.
And we've done it a lot of times.
Yeah.
We've been doing it probably for about 20 years. Man.
Yeah. No, definitely, man. Well, I appreciate you guys. Y'all know, man, just been here from the beginning, from the bones up all the way to what we got it to now, man. So I appreciate you guys for jumping on here with us here today. Well, like I said, folks, a lot going on in football. It is football season here on Centex Primetime. It's football season everywhere. If you're in Georgia and Florida, they've already started their high school football. A couple of other states as well. A couple of them kick off tonight. But this weekend. I know Louisiana will start this weekend. Texas, most of us will be starting the following Friday, as well as college football starting that following Friday and Saturday and Sunday. I cannot wait here. But I want to dive into some of this preseason action that we've been seeing. Obviously, the biggest story that we've been covering and everybody's been covering in preseason so far has been the Cleveland Browns quarterback situation. They have come out and officially named Joe Flacco the starter, which that is no surprise to anybody. We all expected Joe Flacco to be the starter going into it. This weekend when they played, Shedeur Sanders was hurt as they played against the Philadelphia Eagles, so that means Dylan Gabriel was thrown into the fire. He got a chance to start. As Rocky has said, this is more like a quarterback showcase as it is a competition. So last weekend it was Shedeur. This weekend we got to see Dylan Gabriel. Dylan Gabriel had a pretty decent start to his game, 13 for 18, 143 yards. He did throw a pick six in doing that, got sacked a couple times, also lost a fumble. After the game was the more, I guess, interesting part of the kind of part that stirred up social media and everybody going. During the game, they were doing an interview with Dylan Gabriel, and he said they were talking about the quarterback battle going on. We're really just talking about his position and what he sees on the Cleveland Browns. He says some people are competitors and some people are entertainers. I'm here to compete for the quarterback spot. Now, obviously, those comments raised some questions about who is he talking about. Is he referring to his teammate and Shedeur Sanders? Is he referring, as he later tried to come out and clean it up and say he was referring to the media as the entertainers and not Shedeur as the entertainers. He said he was referring to the media, not to his quarterback teammate, which I'm not so exactly sure about that. But I'm going to get the fellas' opinion on it. First off, what do y'all think about Dylan Gabriel's game this past weekend against the Philadelphia Eagles? And then what do you think about his comments post-game? Wayne, I'll start with you.
Well, man, they have a problem in Cleveland. That's all I can tell you right now. He went out and played pretty decent. It was hot. I mean, he was under pressure because Shador had played so well. So he had to go out and play well. And he played pretty decent. He didn't play as well as Shador, but as a guy in the second preseason game, and that was his first action, he actually played pretty decent.
Yeah.
He made some mistakes, but Shador definitely outshined him, but he did okay. The pressure now is on Kenny Pickett, to me, a guy that hadn't really played at all, and that makes him a person that, you know, that's kind of like on the bubble as far as I'm concerned, because he's the only one that had played. And if I got two rookies that's playing better than a guy that's in his second year that hadn't been proven, well, I'm going to take those two rookies and then my veteran Joe Flacco, who they named the starter today. So that made him accessible, and that made him accessible to be waived or traded or whatever. So the pressure's on Kenny Pickett. But as far as the comments, how clear can it get? How clear can it get, Rocky?
That's what I'm wondering.
I mean, how clear can it get? I mean, when you start talking about entertainers, that's what they said pre-draft about Shador. I think that's one of the reasons why he didn't get drafted. So I'm just thinking, like, hey, man, this guy, how clear can it get? How clear can it get that he was talking about Shador? He couldn't have been talking about anything else. Shador is the one out there doing this right here.
Yeah.
You know, telling what time it is. You know, that's Shador. You know, Shador is the one that's getting all the media hype. It's Shador. So how clear can it get? I mean, and I think he tried to come back and try to, you know, kind of clean it up a little bit by saying he was talking about the media, but no, it wasn't the media. It was Shador. And he thought about it, and he came back and cleaned it up. And I'm curious to hear what Rocky has to say about it.
Well, again, you know, no one really knows what he meant other than him. But considering the circumstances and he used the term entertainer. Yeah. There are entertainers and competitors, and then he referenced himself as a competitor. Someone could easily surmise that he was referring to Shador. He said that he was talking about all the media out there that's looking for clicks and traction. The media is the entertainers. I've never really, in all my life, I've never heard media referred to as entertainers. Nope. And you had to go back to what Dan Lanning, his coach last year, said. Yeah. When during the pregame speech when they played Colorado, he said they're playing for clicks. We're playing for wins. So it's kind of that same
sentiment.
Now, the problem with Kenny Pickett, to me, not Kenny Pickett, the problem with Dylan Gabriel is you can talk that talk, but you can't talk that talk after the performance that he put on the field versus Shador.
Exactly.
Performance. Yeah. Now, I'll tell you this. Dylan Gabriel, his performance is like some of my workouts sometimes. They start off real good. But after I get about 10, 15, 20 minutes in, you know, it gets real shoddy. Yeah. You know what I mean? I'm trying to look for the exit. Yeah. And unfortunately, the team gave him an exit because I thought if he could have came out after halftime like Shador did and sustained that play, he could have kind of redeemed himself from the pick six and the fumble. But at the end of the day, as a QB in your one showcase that you've had under the lights, you throw a pick and have a fumble, that's a failure, isn't it, Walter?
A pick six.
It was a pick six, yeah. It was a pick six.
Pick six.
How you turn this mic up?
Yeah.
Turn my mic up. Right here?
Yeah, no, you right here. You got it.
First of all, it was a tremendous amount of pressure on this young kid, though, man. And he did go out and play pretty well. I mean, you have to think, it's your first time out there on the field. And Shador did the same thing, but outshined him. And the one thing that he does have working for him is the fact that he was a third-round pick.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, when you're a third-round pick as a quarterback, you finna get $500,000 right up front. That's throwing out some money. Shador ain't gonna get that.
Well, they say
Shador,
Shador. I read some quotes that Shador's bonus was $460.
Okay, well that means Dylan Gabriel's was $750.
Yeah,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I mean, because right now everything is slotted. It's slotted by position. So
that's literally Shador's entire first-year salary that he got in
the bonus.
In bonus,
yeah.
Right.
Well, at least half of it.
Yeah.
I mean, and then these owners are rich, especially in Cleveland. He throwing out money like it ain't nothing because he finna waste another about 72 on Deshaun Watson this year.
For real.
I mean,
Wow.
You know, I mean, you had Baker Mayfield as a first pick in the draft. You let him go. You just kind of threw away money there. So, I mean, they not hurting for any money.
Yeah, Baker had 33 guaranteed when he
they got rid of him.
Yeah, yeah. So you think about all the little things that's going on in Cleveland. Cleveland has problems, but if I'm Cleveland, I'm keeping my first my two draft picks, and I'm gonna go with Flacco, and just let these guys sit behind him and learn. The thing about it, Cleveland is not gonna win anyway.
No.
They're not gonna win any game. They're not a threat to challenge for the Super Bowl or playoff.
Nothing like that.
Especially when you're playing in the division with Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, and Baltimore.
But you have guys on your team like Myles Garrett, like Njoku, like
Denzel Ward.
Denzel Ward. You have these guys on these guys in the prime of their career. Don't you have some obligation to put the best product out there when these guys are in the prime of their career?
You do.
I mean, you just signed Myles Garrett for an ungodly amount of money.
Just signed him.
You did, but that's what did you have to do to get him to stay? Because he asked for a trade too.
He did.
Right? He asked for a trade. So what did you have to do? You made him the highest paid player in the league to do that. Okay, so but you think about it. They was in the playoffs a year and a half ago. I mean, the year before last.
Yeah.
So they still have a roster that can compete. They have a roster that can compete, but you're in the division with Baltimore, who's my favorite to win the Super Bowl this year.
My mama's too. Shout out to my mama.
She know what she's talking about.
Hey, let me tell y'all, this is a little off topic. She said, "Baby, did you hear the good news?" I was like, "What?" She said, "I'm gonna be a grandmama." I'm like, "Who pregnant?" She's like, "Lamar's having a baby."
Wow. Okay.
So my mom is a huge Lamar Jackson fan. I get it. But again, they're tooled up, and with their all their additions along with what they had, they should be a formidable team. And I agree with you. They're probably in the toughest division in football. I'll give that to you. But still, I'm just talking about what you as an organization owe your players that are in their prime.
Well, you owe your fans.
I think,
And your fans.
The dog pound.
You owe everybody.
Yeah.
You owe your whole organization, but I just don't think they're capable to do it on offense. I don't think they have the guys on the outside that can get it done. I just don't think Judy is going to be an answer.
Well, I got to take you back to the summer of 1989 when you were in camp at the San Diego Chargers as an undrafted free agent.
Yeah.
You surely outperformed being able to make the team that year. You surely at what point in the process does the team abandon the guy that they invested a pick in and then start giving the guy that they obviously didn't think as highly of an opportunity? It happened for you. Certainly, it can happen for Shador. What does that look like?
Well, my thing is, when I went in, I was supposed to be on the practice squad. So they got me because I had hurt my knee. So I wasn't even supposed to come back. And so when I did come back in OTAs, I was giving them the business.
Yeah.
So after OTAs, the coach says, "Hey, man, you could be one of our guys." And so at that point, man, it was in my head, hey, I'm finna go out and make the squad. I'm finna go make the team. But then in training camp and then doing preseason games, you have to go out and perform. So we play against the Cowboys in preseason. I catch about 3 passes. I run a reverse for about 45 yards, run a kickoff, punts, all this type of stuff. after that, they told me, hey, take it easy. And then you start seeing yourself move up the depth chart. Like, so at first I was at the back of the line. You know, it's almost like riding the bus. I was at the back of the bus, man. I was in the back of the bus. And then probably about 2 weeks in the training camp after the first preseason game, you know, I was taking reps with the second team, and then next thing you know, I'm the third or fourth receiver. When they call 4 wides out, I'm going out with team 1.
Is it a conversation they had with you or the guys were in front of you?
It's a conversation they have with you because you're talking to your receiver coach, you're talking to your offensive coordinator, and you're talking to your head coach, and then you can see these people having confidence in you, and then they talking to you like you one of their guys. Like, they talk to people differently. I'm going to tell you that. So when you're a guy that's on the bubble and they know you're not finna make the team and you make a good play or something, they ain't saying nothing to you. But when I was out there and I was running by people and everything like that, and then you see them come back and they giving you high fives and they hitting you on your helmet, and the coach is talking to you, good job, and they called me Bug at the time, so they was like, Bug, good job. I already knew.
Yeah. So this is my point. Like you're saying,
you play yourself in. But you can play yourself out too.
It seems to me that on the field, that there's nothing Shedeur can do on the field to improve his situation or circumstance. And I thought that's where you make your case for being a player is on the field. What do you make of the situation in camp where no matter how good Shedeur plays and no matter how bad the guys play in front of him, he's still kind of slotted in that same fourth quarterback position. And what is the team trying to accomplish by keeping him in that fourth slot?
Man, if you listen to everything that's been coming out of Cleveland, like they had some deal where they said they wasn't even supposed to draft him. Like the whole organization said no, and then at the last minute, the only person that wanted to draft him was the GM.
Andrew Berry.
You know, so you listen at everything that's being said, man, they didn't want this guy here in the first place. But now that he's here, he's got his own fan club. His jersey is the number 1 selling jersey.
In the NFL.
In the NFL.
That's crazy.
He's a moneymaker. They're not getting rid of him. No, I can tell you that. No. They're not getting rid of him.
He's a cash cow.
And then you got to think about the circus that is really going to be if they release him.
Oh, man.
So they put themselves in that situation. But one thing about it is he played himself in that situation.
He did.
Some people wanted him to fail. Probably in their organization. But he didn't.
Well,
that's where they got in trouble because he came out and
they wanted him to be bad.
They wanted him to be bad. They wanted him to be bad, and it didn't work out.
I don't care if it's Deion Sanders, Barry Sanders, or Colonel Sanders. People that lost a whole lot of money betting against the Sanders. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. I don't care. Like I say, and I'm saying that no matter how much even if I'm a Shedeur guy, but even if I wasn't a Shedeur guy, I have to acquiesce to the point when they put him out there with guys who are gonna be UPS drivers, baristas,
Amazon workers,
and Amazon drivers. He still was able to move the ball.
Yep.
Right, and mistake free and score touchdowns. And you put Dylan Gabriel out there with literally your first and second string guys, right? And he wasn't even playing the first. Philadelphia doesn't play their first line guys in
no.
He's playing against the twos, twos and threes.
And so what I'm simply saying is, they stacked the deck so Dylan could be wildly successful in his debut,
and they keep trying to do it.
And he had it going. And somebody mentioned this. I can't remember who mentioned this. He says it seems like once he got off the script, which is usually the first 15 plays, he fell off a cliff.
He did.
Yeah, because now every game you go into it and it's scripted. The first 15, 20 plays. This is what we're going to do. This is what we're going to do on first and long, second and long, third and medium, third and short, goal line situation, short yardage situation. So you have a pact and you have a game plan together on these plays, and it's these different plays that you can run in certain situations, and depending on down and distance or whatever. And so you already have it scripted. So you already know, and you practice and play. So you already have it in your head. Because you get this the day before the game.
Because you pretty much, in preseason,
you
for
already
sure,
know.
You know what looks you're going to get pretty much with those plays, and you kind of know where your reads are going to be. After you come off of that and you start calling the plays, then you have to be more instinctive as a player. You have to depend on your training.
Well, now you're calling plays based on what your offense coordinator see and what they see in the press box. Or if it's the play caller on the field, like I think Stefanski, I think he does his stuff on the field or whatever, and
he's the play caller. Yeah.
So he has some guys in the press box telling them what kind. And in preseason, you're gonna get everything vanilla. You're gonna get all base defenses and this and that. But I've been seeing some team blitz too. But it's gonna be still simple things out of the base defense if they do blitz. So nobody's going to show what they're going to do during the season because nobody wants to be game plan for right now. So it's basically throw and catch to me. And that's with both guys. That's with Shedeur and him. So it's really basic stuff.
I just don't know I've never seen them hype up a pick six before in my life. He played great. The pick six wasn't really his fault. Guys were running together. The head coach came out. The head coach came out and tried to place blame on the receivers.
No.
For the quarterback throwing the picks.
First off, Walker, I don't know what open looks like for sure in the NFL. But then one of them, whoever was throwing it was two guys over there, and both of them looked covered for one.
Yeah,
now, by the same guy. They did, right between the two dudes to the defender.
There's a guy on YouTube, and not on YouTube, but a guy on Instagram. That play is literally the same play that Shedeur threw his first touchdown.
That's what they said. That's
right?
what they said.
Shedeur threw it to the guys, the third level guy, which obviously it was the third read.
Yeah.
Now, if you go back and look at that play, there's a window as soon as that tight end makes that break in that play, he's wide open. He eventually gets covered up because he continues to the sideline. My question to you, Walker, is how does he get to that read? How does Shedeur get to the third read and Dylan Gabriel forces it to the first two?
You got to think about it. It's a different defense. It's a different team.
Yeah.
And basically, when you're designing plays, you're not going to have two guys in the same area anyway. So
somebody's depth was wrong.
Yeah.
That's what the coach was saying.
Yeah, and somebody was wrong. But that still don't mean you have to throw it.
You don't have to throw it, though. That's my point. No one made you throw it. They played the receiver in the wrong spot.
You can throw that out of bounds.
It's preseason.
Whatever. Yeah.
Just throw the ball away.
You don't have to throw it. Somebody was in the wrong spot.
Yeah.
This is the point that I was getting to, and maybe either one of you guys can kind of comment to this. If you look at Shedeur's first 15 plays, I'm not going to say he struggled, but he definitely didn't excel in those first 15 plays, considering that probably 9 of those plays were against the first team defense of the Carolina Panthers.
And when he went out script, he started playing with him.
And that's what I was going to tell you. What does it say about it? Because I'm not sure what to make of it. When the guy goes, once they start calling plays that aren't on the script, and he's able to elevate his play, because whether you think about it or not, if you look at Shedeur's second, he threw 23 passes. But if you look at those second 10, that second half of his passes, I want to say he was like 7 for 8 or 10 for 8 or something like that. And my point is saying that he got better as they got off script.
Yeah.
Does that say anything about the quarterback or the game plan?
It's just, and I hate, but those plays he should hit. If you're trying to be an NFL quarterback, that's just throw and catch. You better be accurate. You better do something. And he has to impress because he's got all the pressure on him. He's got all the smoke. So when you get all the smoke, especially in preseason, and you trying to be an NFL quarterback, them throws you better make. If you a 5th round pick and you the last man on the totem pole, you better make those throws. But the thing about the whole situation is
we got some a special guest intruding in here onto the pod mid show here. Look, this is So we got a knife to split this 3 ways, or we?
Hey man, look at here.
Look,
You want to go in?
yeah. So we got a special guest crashing in real quick, folks. Like I said, it is the 1-year anniversary here today of Centex Primetime. A year ago we started, and we have some a special guest joining in here with us, the CEO to all the stuff you see here going on, not only Centex, but Lighthouse Streaming as well. Mr. Roy Gillis has come in bearing gifts.
Bearing
gifts.
And he parked his car right outside the front door, man. I mean,
Parking lot pimping.
I mean, the CEO, but he can do that, though, man.
Hey, I just wanted to say congratulations on 1 year. Centex Primetime, Jalen. And, of course, none of this could be possible without these 2 guys that's on the set with you. Not only did they lend their sports intelligentsia, but they also lended their influence in this market, and which we needed 1 year ago. Didn't know, Rock, what was going.
Yeah.
You know, we started off with CBS, CBS Sports. You know, the first of this year, some of that stuff had to change, but what we do know is that we stuck with it because we got something. We got something, and there are other media companies doing sports in Waco, and that's what I've been telling myself. I said, well, some of them may have the stadium, but we got the city.
Yeah.
We got the city, and so congratulations. I got something else here. I know that there's some Cowboy fans on the set. I know there is. I know we got Texas Tech in the house.
Yeah.
It's all over me.
Look, he came in representing.
But I got something for the studio.
This the real deal.
Which camera?
Right here.
I'm on
Yeah,
this one.
yeah.
I want to just make sure that people see. We got some people. Now we're going to get some other stuff.
Yeah.
We got some Houston.
I'm not a fan of the Cowboys or the Texans. I'm a fan of the team who paid me. That's San Diego.
Oh, yeah.
LA.
You got a vested interest.
Hey, welcome. There's a few teams that paid you. So.
Minnesota paid me well. They did. They released me, but they paid me well.
But definitely, hey, man, I'm excited about what's to come. We got something, like I said, we got the city, Rock, and we're going to keep pushing forward and believe that doors are going to continue to open. We got Friday Night Flex that's getting ready to kick off here in just
that's
less than 2
that's
weeks.
Big.
And
that's big.
And so you want to get on board, make sure you like, share, and subscribe to Centex Sports Network. And we got some other stuff coming. Me and Rocky working on some. We got some stuff coming. So just stay tuned, keep rocking with us, and we're going to keep putting out this great content.
Yes, sir, folks. Y'all heard it there first, man. First off, appreciate everybody in this room's help, man, to be able to get this going and keep it going for the last year, man. And we got some big things planned. Like you said, the Friday Night Flex. You know, maybe one of these jerseys will have a Cowboy sign on it. Who knows?
Is that a Earl Campbell over there?
Yeah. Look,
that's a classic.
Now I can go. I can go with that.
You get with it. You get with it. You get with the Campbell.
But that right there,
the Stroud. Hey, whoa. Hey, come on.
Hey, that's the beauty of sports talk. We got different opinions coming from different.
But like I say, man, I think it's only right, man, that we get some Cowboy stuff in here. Now, like I say, you need to get with your interior decorator and see if they can crowds up, man. But I'm sure you can find some
we're gonna wait till like week 6, and I hear there's gonna be a big discount that happens right around week 6.
Week 6, everything, tickets and everything.
Fire sale.
Make October that fire sale
if
start.
they trade Michael Parsons, it's gonna start before the season.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a whole other thing.
Okay, well,
they go.
We hoping they don't do that.
We did look like we need a backup quarterback, though. I know that.
Yeah.
Nah, Milton, man, he look. I can't even say what he looked like. He looked all right, to
I
say the
heard
least.
they got one in Cleveland.
Yeah.
I heard.
We were just talking about it.
I heard they got one in Cleveland.
Can Dak handle it? It didn't work out good for Gillis,
man.
Hopefully Dak can handle it. Hey, call Jerry, man. You got all their phone numbers.
Well, folks, like I said, one year
against another CEO.
Yeah, look, definitely. And Friday Night Flex starting next week. You'll see these same faces up here, folks, for high school football to be able to cover. And we'll be talking some more. We got to go to a quick break here, folks, on Centex Primetime. Wayne's got to get out of here. He'll jump on with us some more later. But want to thank everybody for tuning in so far. Stay tuned. We've got a lot more to talk about here on Centex Primetime. We're going to take a short break. We'll be right here after this break.
All right, man, let me get out of here and go make this little old piece of change.
Hello and welcome back into Centex Primetime. Jalen Gillis still here as we are on the one year anniversary show here on Centex Primetime. You guys just seen some of the presentations a second ago. We also talked a little bit about the Shador situation, him and Dylan Gabriel. I'm sure me and Rocky will touch some more on that. But before we jump back into it, folks, first off, I want to thank everybody for watching with us and staying here with us here in Centex Primetime. We get into the second hour. We've got another special guest here at the table with us that I want to introduce you guys to and let you guys get a chance to see somebody that's joined the team here as a part of the sales force, leader of the sales force here at Centex Sports Network. Mr. Anthony Powell is here at the table with us. Anthony, what is going on?
Man, I'm so happy to be here and happy
Yes,
to be a
sir.
part of this beautiful team, man.
Yes, sir.
And happy for this 1 year anniversary, man.
Now, definitely. I appreciate you coming through. Tell us a little bit, about your starting here at Centex and what you're trying to help us build and what the people can expect and how they can reach you and all of that.
Well, the good thing about coming over to Centex Sports Marketing, we got a marketing department. We're just kind of utilizing everything that we can to bring the community, connect the community together, and bring a total use of everything and getting those business out there and making sure that we're here to develop everything for the small business, the barbershop, nursing. We want to do everything that we can to get Centex Marketing to become the number one in Central Texas. And from there on, that's what we're going to do. And so it's been a grind. It's been happy.
Yeah.
It's been a blessing
Yeah.
just to be here, to be out here and showing that something that you guys, a catalyst that you guys have built. And where you build, I want to build up on that thing for our marketing department and our advertising department. We're there for everyone. You can reach us through the Centex, CentexSports.net, I believe. I think that's what we got. So now we'll put it on the
Sales at
sales@CentexSportsNetwork.com. And we'll definitely have that out there for you, Jalen. I know we're going to put that out there.
Yeah,
and
sure,
so you can reach us here 24/7. I'm here 24/7, and I can reach back out to you, and we'll have a plan for you. We have something there that we can actually help your business grow, help your podcast grow, and also we're going to actually help this sports network that we, like I said, become a great success. That's what I'm here for, and that's what we're going to do.
Yes, sir, man. You got me fired up. I'm ready for first week now to go out there and get it done, man. But definitely, I appreciate what you're doing here at Centex Sports, and man, I'm excited for the future on what we can build on.
And just can you go? I know you guys do a lot of different stuff, but can you give us an example of some kind of services that the marketing department can provide?
First, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Finish.
Yeah, the marketing department can provide for a customer.
Well, just like now, I just left. I just had a previous customer, been in business now for about 15 years. Hasn't done any advertising, hasn't done anything, but his business is steady growing, but it's a word of mouth. And so now the word of mouth, and COVID brought that fluid thing where it taught us that we have to start using the internet. We have to start buying online. We have to start doing things that was different during that fluid time. And now bringing those, what I do and what we're doing, we're bringing those customers. When you're doing your podcast, we're gonna bring a customer to you for your business, and then that's what we're doing. So basically, we're gonna take a little mom and pop business or big business, and we're gonna bring customers to them. And then we're gonna just not do that. We're gonna have a back end where we can say, okay, this is what we're doing. This is how we're gonna have analytics and data to show you this is what it's gonna take. So once I get that customer to you, now it's your job to do that. My job is to get that customer to you. My job is to get, if you're a business or you're MCC or you're a game, we want to get people in the seats, and that's going to happen. We want to get business into your location. And so whatever that is, if we're going to go through that through our marketing department, our sales department, and our outreach and our network department. So we have packages for every customer that we can help bring those customers to you. And as well, we have real live data that we're going to say, if you got likes, we got you. We put you on social media or different social medias and podcasts. Okay, we need to know where is that? Where is it going? And then what is it going to do for you?
Being a small business owner myself, me and my wife have been in business 20 years, and it's very important that we sit down and talk to people with the skill set like yourself and Centex Marketing, because what you enable us to do is grow our business. Mm-hmm. And growing our business ultimately allows us to provide more services to the customer, but more importantly, it puts more money in our pockets as small business people. So when you go out to and visit your customers and people who sign on and sponsors and things like that, what ultimately happens, we use platforms like these to help other people grow their businesses and fulfill their dreams.
Yes.
And I appreciate you coming on board and assisting not only Centex Sports Marketing, but being an instrument out there in the field to give other small businesses an opportunity to grow their business at an affordable price.
And the good thing about that, Rocky, and I'm glad you repeated that, it's that building that value. Building value from every customer. Everyone is not the same. But if you build that value, because something that's unique about your business or something about your company, there's another company that has very uniqueness. And what we got to do, we're not sitting there to selling, we're building that value. We building value based on what you needs and your wants and things that's going to help your business grow and become a great success. And that's what we do here, and we're just going to continue to keep growing to make sure that we are that calipers for the community and for the company as well, and for your company.
And for because I remember Keisha and we did it the hard way. We did what's called guerrilla marketing. I mean, I printed out flyers and we went out to different places and handing it out hand to hand. There's a lot of time involved in that. There's a lot of really what I would call wasted time, because we passed flyers out to people that we didn't know if they worked, even had a job. We're in the tax business, for people that don't know. We don't know if they have a job. We don't know if they're on a fixed income. We don't even know if they're employed. We're just out here passing those flyers out. But with the tools that Centex Marketing have, you guys can target the exact customer that you guys want in a certain income bracket, a certain demographic, a certain location. You guys have those tools where you guys can use not only those tools, but then use analytics to go out and grow and maybe be able to upsell those customers and provide other services. Again, I just think it's a tremendous need that we have as a small business owner, being able to scale our business at affordable price.
Yes.
And because, I love to run commercials on Channel 10 or ABC or NBC or whatever. But if you notice, all those slots are taken up by Coke, Dr. Pepper, McDonald's, whatever. And the slots for our local businesses, you're talking about the big car lots, the big retail spots, the restaurants around town. So, but a mom and pop have very little outlets to get the word out about their business. And I would love for you and your staff to come and use our platform to kind of spread the word about their small business.
And Jalen and Rocky, we appreciate that. And the reason we appreciate that, and I appreciate you elaborating on that as well, because the small business and all the things, the headaches and all the turtles and things that you go through, you don't have to go through that. I'm here.
Yeah.
We're here to do that for you. We're that middleman. We're as we call it, we are the boots on the ground.
Yeah.
And so we're out here, we're on the stump to get those things happening and working for you and being a small business. And now, not saying we don't want the big business, but it's okay. But we want to start the small business because people, in our community and different communities, like, how can we get started? How did you get on this network? How did you do this? Well, come on. And I'm here at Centex Marketing, Centex Sports Marketing. We're here to show you and help you. And then we can actually brainstorm together to get you where you need to be. And just for if little affordable prices to get you out there, because some people can't. You're not on Channel 10. You're not on Channel 25. You're not on Fox. But guess what? We can be that Fox. We can be that Channel 10. We can be all that for you, and we can be there to help you in every avenue and venture that you're in. Let us help you become successful, and that's what we can do.
Absolutely, Anthony, man. I really appreciate you coming in for a couple minutes and talking with us. He is also a very, very avid sports fan as well.
Yes.
Y'all hear him talking about marketing, but he can get in here and talk about whatever we're talking about in here as well. Anybody you looking forward to watching football season right around the corner, man? Any level of football, anybody you looking forward to watching this upcoming season?
Well, this upcoming season, definitely Baylor. Baylor's going to be our thing. I really want to go back and I want to. Prairie View. I want to do some HBCUs, But Colorado is very interesting. Colorado is big talk for everybody.
Yeah, it is.
And and then our Cowboys. Our Cowboys are the thing, and hope we get to go ahead and sign Parson and get this thing over with, so we can get out here and start rolling. Yeah. So that's and then we're on the basketball season coming up. Volleyball. MCC has a new inaugural season for volleyball. Man,
absolutely.
we got to. So man, I'm volleyball, baseball,
everything.
water polo, whatever. I'm talk about
you
it.
told me you watched some swimming the other day. We were talking. I said, Anthony, watch everything you get on to. But, man, I appreciate you coming in here for a couple minutes and stopping and talking with us, Anthony. Definitely looking forward to having you come on some more, too, and be able to talk
Thank you, guys.
with us.
Appreciate y'all. And just don't remember, anything that you need, Centex Sports Network and Centex Sports Marketing, we can get you what you need. Thank y'all very much,
yes, sir.
guys.
That is Mr. Anthony Powell, folks. Y'all know where to find him. Rewind it if you don't know where to find him. He gave out all his outlets and where you can find him and stuff like that. But I appreciate you coming on here with us for a couple of minutes. Well, folks, like I said, 1 year anniversary show here on Centex Primetime, folks. And me and Rocky, we're going to dive back into this, man, talking about some of the sports topics going on around here in the world of sports. We just got done wrapping up. Talking a little bit of Shedeur, man, in this situation with Dillon Gabriel. The head coaches, as we will say here, cop and please for Dillon Gabriel. There was too many receivers over there. That's why I threw a pick. Okay, or you could just not throw a pick six. I heard Dan Orlowski, who actually like his analysis on quarterbacks on ESPN, he says, I will give Dillon Gabriel the edge right now over Shedeur after his performance. And I'm trying to see, how do you give somebody an edge? One guy goes 2 touchdowns, no picks. One guy goes no touchdown, 2 turnovers. But we give him the edge. It's the little things in that. But to put a bow on that conversation, who do you think getting that backup spot? Dillon Gabriel, Shedeur, who performed better in the preseason? Who you think is going to win that spot?
I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. There's nothing that I've seen this fall camp that leads me to believe that until Dillon Gabriel is an abject failure on the field, I don't think Shedeur can leapfrog him. Okay. I think he has to be a complete failure. He has to be a disaster or injured, and then Shedeur get his spot. I think it's just one of those deals where they're committed to seeing the whole Dillon Gabriel project all the way through. Credit to the Browns if they have the patience for that. I know that me as a coach, I wouldn't have the patience for that.
Will he have the tenure for that? Will he be the coach long enough?
Well,
to
maybe,
sustain
like I say,
project?
there must be something that he knows that the rest of us don't know about this process. Because again, Dillon Gabriel is a 3rd round pick, and let's be perfect. I said this a couple weeks ago on the show. Them drafting Shedeur Sanders at the 5th round did Dillon Gabriel a disservice.
Yes, I agree.
Them guys drafting him at the 3rd round, he should have the ability to grow as a quarterback, develop, at a pace that's in alignment with his draft status, which was a 3rd round pick. What happened when they drafted Shedeur behind him, it put them in direct competition with one another.
Sped that process up.
And now he doesn't get a chance to develop, in a way that is kind of almost organic. He's always, everything he does is being compared to Shedeur. Now, I don't think that Kevin Stefanski did him any favors by saying that it's a 4-man quarterback competition, because that was a lie.
Yeah, definitely.
You know what I mean? That's not what it was. But again, I'm not willing to make any definitive decisions on what's going to go on with the Browns till cut down day. I don't believe, coming into this situation, I didn't think they would have 4 quarterbacks going into the 3rd preseason game. I thought they would have let somebody go now.
By now.
Maybe the injuries have kind of slowed that process up. But by cut down day, which may be the 25th, 26th, I can't remember when cut down day is, we'll find out what the plans are for the Browns, Dillon Gabriel, and Shedeur Sanders, because there are some teams out there with some quarterback situations that need to be sorted out as well.
Absolutely.
Does Dillon Gabriel or Shedeur factor into those situations? Considering what the fans have invested already in Shedeur Sanders jerseys and how much the fan base has bought into the potential of Shedeur starting the game, I just don't see them cutting him or trading him. But I won't believe it until he's on the first opening day roster. There's no way he makes it to the practice squad because in order to make it to the practice squad, you have to cut him. Mm-hmm. Also, when you're on the practice squad, you're not protected.
Not at all.
So he at any point, I don't see him going to the practice squad.
Me either.
Worst case scenario, something happens, he ends up on injured reserve. Mm-hmm. I don't see that being a possibility as well. So, unfortunately, basically what I'm saying is Shedeur is in a situation where he's going to struggle to see the field this year. Mm-hmm. But I hope at some point he does get an opportunity to showcase his skills and abilities, because I think when he does, it's going to be lights out.
Yeah, just like it was in that first preseason game. I'm like you. I think no matter what, at this point, Gabriel will be in front of Shedeur on the depth chart, for whatever the depth chart really means. So I don't think it really means much. I think in the back of Kevin Stefanski's head, he knows, okay, Shedeur is our guy going into Shedeur is the better of these guys going into the future. Flacco is the right now solution. Like you said, he will never touch the practice squad. That would be the biggest blunder, one of them in Brown's history, not because Shedeur is going to turn into Tom Brady, but because you're going to cut a cash cow for your team and just let him walk somewhere for free. I don't believe he'll do that, but other people's quarterback situations will dictate this situation as well.
I think the only thing that kind of changes the situation is if somebody is willing to give the Browns a second or third draft pick for either quarterback.
Yeah, I
doubt that would happen for any team.
Yeah.
Even Dylan Gabriel, I think there are guys who perform far worse than him in the preseason, namely the Cowboys' backup quarterback.
Most definitely. He played.
Man, I hate to be hard. I had high hopes for Milton, man.
I did too. I'm not a Cowboy fan, but I was rooting for Milton.
High hopes for him, but he so far it looks like he doesn't have it.
Like Anthony Richardson Jr., in my opinion.
And so, and again, you have the situation with the Colts and Anthony Richardson. There's a lot in the quarterback position to be settled.
Absolutely.
In the NFL, and I'm looking forward to seeing what ultimately transpires and see if maybe Dylan Gabriel or maybe even Shedeur can find themselves in a more situation that provide more opportunity.
I think if the number was right, maybe Shedeur, Dylan Gabriel, it's hard for me to not. The most I feel like any team will give up for Dylan Gabriel is a conditional 7th round pick. I don't see anybody giving anything higher because traditionally that's not what any quarterbacks have gone for. Traditionally, we've seen good starting quality quarterbacks go for 2nd, 3rd round picks before a backup 3rd, 4th string rookie that's unproven. I couldn't see him anything more than 7. Shedeur is more interesting because there's quarterback injuries for teams that are trying to compete. If you're a bad team, like the Saints, they're not going to trade for a quarterback because they're going to be bad regardless. But what's going on in Los Angeles with the Rams is interesting because although Stafford is scheduled to play week 1, we know the injuries he's battling. Garoppolo's their backup. He's an even more injury-prone quarterback than Matt Stafford. So that could potentially get tricky because they have a Super Bowl-ready, contending roster ready right now to go.
And the Garoppolo, I want to say, is the last kind of backup quarterback that you got a significant haul for. Mm-hmm. I don't want to say they only wanted a 2nd round pick, and I think they got a 2nd round pick for him. I want to say the Eagles gave up maybe a 6th round pick for Kenny Pickett.
Exactly.
When they traded for
6th round pick, yeah.
Or it may have even been a conditional.
Yeah, I think it was conditional, but it's
6 or
6th round.
7, and then the Browns gave away a 7 for him to move there. So historically, to your point, there's not been a lot of draft capital given up for what was considered a backup quarterback. And when you talk about Shedeur Sanders and Dylan Gabriel, those guys are on the depth chart behind Kenny Pickett.
Exactly.
It would probably be more likely that if there is a trade for a quarterback, it will be Kenny Pickett.
Yeah, Pickett, I think, will be the guy. I think he's the odd man out just for missing those 2 games, honestly. You want to see, can we build on Dylan Gabriel? You want to see, can we build on what Shedeur did? Pickett hadn't even given you anything to build on, so he's probably the odd man out. Reports are saying they're going to keep – it's looking like they're going to keep 4 quarterbacks, 5 if you count Deshaun Watson, who's on IR, going into the season. which is a lot. You never really see that happening in the NFL, but this is a unique situation that they've put their own selves in. So we'll obviously be keeping in with this. Flacco was named the starter, so that kind of takes some of the press media back that's kind of pushing in on who's going to be that guy. Somebody earned a spot. So let's get this out the way now. Flacco's going to be our day one starter. Folks, we weren't on the show yesterday, but as I've coined before, we like to do Football Mondays and talk about what we've seen from the previous weekend. So far, we don't have high school and college to talk about. That's all going to change this next upcoming week. But the NFL did give us something to watch in the preseason. I want to talk about some of the storylines that we saw in the preseason. And I also want to give out some bold predictions that we have for this upcoming football season as well. First, though, a couple of more of the situations going on. 2 quarterback situations. Really 3, I guess, one of them. But 2 quarterback situations. One, the New Orleans Saints, is their last preseason game. Looked like a disaster. For those of you that did watch, the 30-year-old rookie go out there, Tyler Shuck, goes out in his debut, does not play well at all. And then also the quarterback situation in Indianapolis. First off, Indianapolis has come out and named Daniel Jones the starter. Now, I want y'all to go back, and I'll be putting the video out, but go back and check the film. When they signed him in February, March, and I said right here on the show, he's going to be the starter day one for the Indianapolis Colts, because I'm a Texans fan, so obviously I watch this division heavily. Anthony Richardson is not the answer as of right now for the Indianapolis Colts. Just running the offense. We talked about his week 1 performance where he got hurt off of, Wayne was just on here. He played in the NFL. Talks about the vanilla defenses you see in the preseason. They're coming at, 6-man pressure. You got 5 offensive linemen. You've got to check somebody to address the 6th guy, or you're just going to get hit. We watch Anthony Richardson not do that, come out there, get hit, gets injured on the play. It's the little things like that the Colts have seen repeatedly over the last 2 or 3 years, along with the health of Anthony Richardson. I think he's played, close to 1,500 snaps in the NFL, and guys that have been drafted after him, Caleb Williams, some of these other guys have already played like 3,000, 2,000, 3,000 snaps, 2,500 snaps, and he's got years ahead of him. You think about the lack of snaps in college. He only played 10 games. He started 10 games in college. That's all Anthony Richardson did. Daniel Jones, although he's not going to come in and be Tom Brady in this situation as far as winning the QB battle, or Drew Brees in this situation, but I think he can run that offense better than what Anthony Richardson is. What do you think about the Colts coming out and naming Daniel Jones the starter over their number 4 pick overall from just a couple of years ago in Anthony Richardson?
I mean, they didn't want to be beholden to Anthony Richardson, quarterback, so they went and traded for a guy to compete with it. Mm-hmm. When they bring in a guy to compete with the quarterback, that means they're not happy with you.
yeah.
You know what I mean? So though Richardson is the guy they drafted, they brought Daniel Jones in to compete with him. And so that means they weren't happy with Richardson. Again, my issue with Richardson is this. If you want him to run a conventional offense, then he's not your guy.
No.
The other side of it, running something more like what Jalen Hurts runs, doesn't seem like he can stay healthy.
Yeah.
So what do you do in that situation? The offense that he can run, he can't stay healthy, and it makes for a really frustrating situation, I'm sure, for the organization.
Yeah.
You bring a guy in like Daniel Jones, and like I said, I'm a Cowboy fan. I absolutely love Daniel Jones when he's on the other team.
Yeah. I bet.
I mean? In my opinion, he plays with no courage.
Yeah.
He is not instinctive in the passing game. Mm-hmm. Though he's a great athlete, I think he's not even instinctive.
Underrated athlete, honestly.
He's not instinctive in the run game.
No.
He's gonna run the play the way you design it. If the play is not there, he's gonna, he's not gonna try to make a play. He's not gonna extend the play.
No.
He's gonna make the play that's there. And a lot of times in the NFL, it's not there.
Yeah.
It's not there. And the guys who, whether it be Mahomes, whether it be Lamar, whether it be Josh Allen, the guys that can extend the play and create plays, those are the big-time quarterbacks in this league. And Daniel Jones, though he may be, if in fact he has a team with all the other components, I believe he can be serviceable. But he'll never be that guy.
No.
Or
no.
what the young people say, he'll never be him.
Yeah, that is true.
He'll
will
never
not
be him. And I don't think they were looking for him when they brought him on board. They were looking for somebody to replace who they thought was him.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it was. Daniel Jones, that's what I said a couple months ago. Daniel Jones getting traded here. He was brought in to replace Anthony Richardson. They seen the writing on the wall. As you just brought up the offense, they tried the RPO thing that Shane Steichen, that's what they want to run. They want to run that same offense that got the Eagles to the Super Bowl the first time that they lost to Kansas City. Shane Steichen was the offensive coordinator then. They want that RPO. They've got a pretty good offensive line. Quentin Nelson, one of the best guards in the league. They got one of the best running backs in the league with Jonathan Taylor. They want to run that style of offense. But that requires quick decision-making, quick reads. Either I'm going to get the ball out, I'm going to take off, or I'm going to get it to this running back. Anthony Richardson wasn't processing. He wasn't the supercomputer that Dylan Gabriel is being proclaimed to be by some Browns personnel, but wasn't processing that information. Daniel Jones coming in, he'll be able to run that offense. Will he be a great quarterback? No, we've already seen that for Daniel Jones. He's not going to be a great quarterback. As you said, off script is terrible for Daniel Jones. With the way the Giants were constructed, everything was off script because the line was bad, the receivers were bad, everything was bad. So everything was off script.
And he was bad.
And he was bad with it, thus making him go into what he did. But the one season they did have success, they were able to run the ball. They were able to get to their first option guys or first read guys, and they were able to have slight success. That's what they want to do here. And they also drafted Daniel Jones Jr., which is, as he calls, White Vic, and out of Riley Leonard, I was about to say Duke, out of Notre Dame last year. So the writing is already on the wall for Anthony Richardson. He's out of this job. His agent is already coming out and saying they're disappointed and they're unsure about the future of Anthony Richardson with the Indianapolis Colts. Well, the first thing is you're not going to control that. I don't know if his agent, I don't know exactly who his agent is. I don't know if it's a newer guy, but you're not going to come in and control this because the Colts are going to do whatever they want with him in this situation. They don't have to do anything. We can keep him here, and if Daniel Jones gets hurt, we'll throw him back out there. If they wanted somebody who wants to give up a second or third round pick for this guy, they'll do that. But you're not going to come out and dictate those terms. But shout out to the Colts, man. Daniel Jones becomes the day one starter. Anthony Richardson looked visibly upset when they tried to interview him afterwards and said he's just going to focus on football and stuff like that. Well, the stuff you're supposed to say. There's nothing you can say here. You lost your job. You competed in training camp. And didn't work out.
And let's be honest. In these kind of situations, there's nothing that Daniel Jones can show in preseason that would warrant him displacing a young Anthony Richardson.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, honestly.
Because I'm sure Anthony Richardson is saying, hey, man, the Giants gave you 5 years.
Yes, they did.
To prove that you're a starting quarterback in the NFL. You're not. Can I just get the same runway that Daniel Jones got? And again, I think he has an argument.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
To say that, but ultimately, I don't think Steichen drafted him, if I'm not mistaken. I think he was drafted before Steichen.
Yeah.
Steichen is not beholden to make him work or anything like that. I'm sure there's some other guys he'd like to have in those positions. And like I said, ultimately, one of the things I always say, the relationship between the quarterback and the head coach in the NFL is so important.
Man.
And the team success a lot of times mirrors that. We had a situation in Philly last year where it got kind of rocky for Jalen Hurts and
A.J. Brown. Yeah.
No.
And the coach.
And Sirianni.
Yeah.
Sirianni was smart enough to say, hey, I'm going to take the blame for the deteriorating relationship, and I'm going to do what I can to improve our quarterback's relationship with our quarterback. Not all the coaches have that same, what would you call that? The same awareness, the same humility.
Yes.
To straighten that situation. Now, is Daniel Jones, is Anthony Richardson, Jalen Hurts? Probably not.
No.
But my point is, it doesn't seem like Shane Steichen has done, or the Colts have done anything to kind of make Anthony Richardson feel warm and fuzzy while he's been there.
Shane Steichen knows he's got to win games this year. I understand that y'all drafted him, like as you brought up a great point. He didn't draft him. Y'all drafted him number 4. I believe Frank Reich, another Eagles guy, was at the time the head coach then when they drafted him. But I don't have to try to make this work. I'm trying to keep my job because if we go 6-11 again and miss the playoffs, when we have honestly the last 2 or 3 years have had a playoff caliber team, but our quarterback play was bad, I'm going to get fired. So none of this matters anyway. I'm going to bench this guy. I'm going to bring in Daniel Jones. I'm going to go get a Daniel Jones lookalike and draft him and Riley Leonard out of here. And those are the guys I'll try to move forward with. If I can get to 9 wins and make the playoffs, 10 wins and make the playoffs this year, I bought myself some more time. Then I'll find who the future guy is. But I got to win right now in order to keep my job. That's what I believe they're trying to do, man. Anthony Richardson just has problems processing it. It's nothing physical with him. He can throw the ball 80 yards. The dude's built like a Mack truck. He's trucking people. He seems to make unlimitless highlight plays against my Texans every year, even though they lose every time they play us. But his highlight tape looks ridiculous every single time. Can't make the little throws. Can't do the little things.
And Anthony Richardson is that guy that in relief of any quarterback, he's going to be a problem.
Oh, yeah.
But it's when you get the game plan for him,
Yes.
get to set up a game plan to stop his skill set, make him throw the ball down the field, cloudy up his reads and stuff like that. Enable – and again, I think the RPO game works for quarterbacks quite a bit.
Worked for Hurts that year. They got to Super Bowl.
It worked for Hurts last year, but the issue is you got to stay healthy.
Yes. Yeah.
And you got to remember, the year that Jalen Hurts wasn't healthy, how did it turn out for the Eagles?
Exactly.
They got smoked by Tampa Bay, didn't
they? Yes, they did.
So,
they did.
So you got to have a healthy quarterback running that. He just can't seem to stay healthy when he's been given the opportunity.
Yeah, so Anthony Richardson, this might be the end of him at the Colts. Will he get another opportunity? Absolutely. Coaches have, at times, bigger egos than the players. Everybody feels like I'm the guy that can make this guy work. So Anthony Richardson's going to get another job. They're going to get another bite at the apple with this. Just might not be at the Indianapolis Colts. The other QB situation I want to talk about, New Orleans Saints. Now, this one's not as much importance on this one because the Saints are going to be terrible. I've already said I think the Saints are going to get the number 1 pick. They're going to be the worst team in the league this year, in my opinion. But they come in, they draft Tyler Show. That was really what started a lot of the Shador conversation. When guys didn't draft him in the first round, it was okay. Well, maybe they just didn't think he was first-round quarterback. But as we see Tyler Show and Dylan Gabriel and some of these other guys start to get drafted, then the question mark comes out. Tyler Show didn't look the best in his second preseason game. He went 9 for 12, but he only had 60 yards, got sacked a few times in there as well. Spencer Rattler, in my opinion, clearly outplayed him when he came in, and I think Spencer Rattler is going to get that number 1 job. Did the Saints overdraft Tyler Show? Is this already looking like one of those, man, what were y'all doing type of deals by taking him in the second round? Because I feel like Show was a quarterback that was probably going to be there 3rd or 4th round, in my opinion. But he was the third quarterback off the board out of the entire draft. This is already looking like it's coming back to bite them a little bit.
So, I got these theories.
Yeah.
Got these theories. So my theory in this draft, other than the Titans, I want to exclude the Titans from this theory.
Yep.
What teams didn't want to do is draft anybody who would hinder them from being part of the Arch Manning sweepstakes that could take place next year.
Yep.
Again, just think about this. Why would the Saints, who probably had the worst quarterback situation,
Definitely in the league,
anybody in the draft, draft the worst, oldest quarterback that you could?
Yep.
Even if you think about who's available, and you think that you're going to need a quarterback, why wouldn't you draft Jackson Dart? Let's take Shador out of it. Why wouldn't you? I think the Saints had 8, 9?
They had a top 10 pick.
Yeah.
They went away from that in their top 10 pick, drafted him top of the second round. Jackson Dart got drafted probably 10 spots in front of him.
Yeah, why wouldn't you take Jackson Dart in that situation? You need a quarterback back.
Yeah.
So who? Okay, of the quarterbacks left, I'm not gonna take the best one. I'm gonna take the worst of all the quarterbacks
and
left oldest, so that maybe next year, I still have a justification to draft
Arch Manning. Yeah, I agree.
And I think that's what we're missing as fans is a lot of this past draft was just teams posturing to be in the running to draft Arch Manning. It was never about how good Shador was. It was really about Shador has the talent and ability to put the team in a situation where they won't have access to Arch Manning. I almost think that's the situation with what's going on now in Cleveland is, okay, we know Dylan isn't a quarterback that can threaten the vibe. You know, if Arch is available tomorrow, they know that the fan base will be okay with drafting Arch Manning.
Yep.
But what if we have a situation where Shador plays majority of the season, we end up 7-10, and Shador shows a lot of promise.
Yeah.
We have our 2 first-round picks. Would we be doing ourselves a disservice to trade both of those first-round picks to jump up and
get that number one pick,
and get the number 1 overall pick?
Yeah.
That way, we'd be drafting for a position that we already have a competent player and a fan favorite in that position.
Yeah.
So you got to think about I'm just thinking about what this means. There's no reason for the Saints to draft Tyler Shuck.
No
He
reason.
is a below average college quarterback.
Below average.
It took him, and what I mean by that, he was 26 years old before he was a competent college quarterback. By any measure, if it takes you 6 years to get it right, I don't care how right you get it in your 6th year, you're a below average quarterback.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah, I agree.
You take him and you had an opportunity to draft Shador Sanders as the Saints. You had an opportunity to draft Jackson Dart in the Saints. Hell, you had a chance to draft anybody you wanted. Anybody you wanted other than Cam Ward, and you decided to draft Tyler Shuck. Of all the people, like at the time, it didn't make very much sense at all. I was like, people were talking about, they fell in love with Tyler Shuck. No,
they
you said, I'm going to draft this guy.
Who's the
this
most
guy is guaranteed to bust right here. There's no way we're going to win any games with this guy at quarterback.
Absolutely.
And we're going to give him a shot.
Yeah, I agree.
That keeps us in the running for Arch Manning, because I think Arch Manning, him finishing, coming out this year or next, is all contingent on what teams end up in the top 5.
Absolutely. I say the exact same thing. He actually just came out today and when speaking to one of the press media and said that his decision is not made for next year because, his granddaddy already came out and said he's staying no matter what. He's staying 2 years. I don't care what y'all talking about.
Well, for him, the money – so you got to understand the dilemma that a guy like Arch is in. Mm-hmm. Let's do the math. Arch supposedly is getting $8 million a year at Texas.
Uh-huh.
Right? He stays this year. Say he gets another $8 million. Well, the reality is that the raise in the rookie's pay scale, he's only going to get probably $2 or $3 million annually difference.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So he's probably getting the rookie minimum now is a little over $10 million average, because I want to say Cam got $40 million.
Yeah.
So it's a little over $40 million. Mm-hmm. Just say next year if the rookie, the number 1 pick, gets $48 million, it's only a $2 million difference. He's going to get that money anyway. Plus, if he stays another year, he'll get the money he made in college. So he could potentially come out somewhat better financially, even though his clock is going to start later. But here's the thing with Arch Manning. If he can play at all, he's going
At
he's
all.
gonna get a re-up. He's gonna get a re-up after his third season.
Definitely.
They're not gonna play with him like they play with all these other quarterbacks.
Not even close.
You know, he's not gonna get the Dak and the
Lamar Jackson, none of
Jalen
those guys.
Hurts,
Yeah.
Lamar Jackson treatment. He's gonna get the Carson Wentz,
For real.
Josh Allen.
We'll pay you
what's,
early.
What's the other guy in Jacksonville?
Yeah, Trevor Lawrence.
Trevor
yeah.
Lawrence. He's gonna
We'll
get
pay
that
you
treatment.
early. I agree. And I think he's gonna the biggest point is depending on who gets that number one pick is when he's gonna come out. I know everybody was saying Cleveland was tanking for Arch Manning. Like I said, Cleveland's not gonna be bad enough to get Arch Manning. The Saints not only are willing to tank for Arch, they don't have a choice because their team is bad. I was just going through the this is the nastiest roster in the NFL. This is a bad roster. Nobody on this. I'm not gonna say nobody. This is a bad roster for the New Orleans Saints, though. And also, who would Archie give his blessing to if he had to wait for his son or his grandson to come out and had to wave his flag and say, "We'll let you come out"? Maybe to the place where he grew up. Maybe the place where Archie started all of this, and why the Manning family has been in New Orleans for the last 50 years because of the Saints. That I can see being the story. That is probably the best point of all of that is that's why they drafted Tyler Shote. Because after you saying it, okay, now it opens up a little bit and I can see why. Because I've been confused since April on why in the world do you take a 27-year-old rookie quarterback that wasn't good in the ACC. We're talking about the fourth best conference out of the Power Four conferences. He wasn't good in that conference. And somehow he's going to come to the NFL and be good. Definitely not at all. But that quarterback situation, we see where it's going. They want the number one pick. The Saints are bad. They need help going into next year. Could the Browns potentially get it? Yes, because of the trade they made this year to trade back. If they can offer too much capital, no, I don't care what New Orleans at, they'll listen to that trade. If they go in there offering 3-4 first-round picks.
When you think about it, Carolina probably predicted to finish at the bottom of their league. I don't see
New Orleans finished worse than them.
Okay, so you have New Orleans,
Carolina, Tampa, and Atlanta.
Atlanta. But what I'm saying is, they're one of the worst. Carolina's predicted to be one of the worst teams in the league.
Yes,
I'm not sure what their over-under is in wins, but I'm sure it's pretty low. And I'm sure Cleveland is right down there with them. And if you have the 4 or 5 pick, just say you have 4 or 5, and you're Carolina, do you trade back to get the 4 or 5 pick to give someone an opportunity to draft Arch Manning? Carolina get it.
Yeah.
If Carolina's in there, they're in there like swimwear. What I'm saying is, if you have the 4 or 5 pick and you're Cleveland, the bottom line is you're going to have an opportunity to present a package together to get that number 1 overall pick.
The Panthers are at 6.5 wins right now.
What is Cleveland?
Cleveland Browns 4.5.
So they're better odds to be. So is there anybody with less wins than 4.5?
No, I see the Browns at 4.5, and no, that's
So the Browns are the favorite to have the number 1 pick overall.
And that's swayed by who bets on that. Probably teams are betting that they're going to be the worst. But I clearly think New Orleans they're just 1 win ahead. They got 5.5. But I clearly think New Orleans is worse than Cleveland. The Raiders are teetering on that because their division is so tough. I think the Raiders are better than both of them, but their division is so tough. I can see them having a pretty bad year.
What
as
is
well.
the Raiders?
Raiders 6.5. They got 6.5 for them, but because their division is so tough, I think it could be closer to that. But I don't think the Browns are getting 6 wins. I don't think the Panthers are getting. Well, the Panthers might get 6 wins. Let me take that away. I don't think the Saints are getting 6 wins, and I don't think the Raiders are getting 6 wins. So those are my teams as far as in contention for being able to get that last spot for the Arch Manning sweepstakes. But I definitely could see that happening. But that gave me some more insight on maybe why the New Orleans Saints decided to go out there and pick him number 1. Before I give some of my bold predictions, in news, Cam Newton is getting his jersey retired at Auburn. This is much very well deserved or very well overdue.
He should have got his jersey. He should have got his retired like Travis and Shedeur.
The year you leave. Exactly. In 2011 is when Cam should have got his jersey retired. Yeah. Most definitely needs to be retired in Carolina. I don't know what they got going on with that stuff in Carolina. Cam said he hadn't even been back to the facility since which is crazy. I don't know what's going on with that, but well deserved, man. Cam Newton, as I've said on the show multiple times, I think Cam Newton is one of the greatest college football players of all time, if not the greatest college football player of all time. Think of what he did.
Definitely had the greatest year.
Yeah, in my opinion, for sure, the greatest year. To go from a team with no NFL prospects to win the SEC and then win the national championship was absolutely phenomenal. But what do you think about Cam? Undefeated season. Taking out LSU, Alabama. They played Clemson that year. They played Oregon in the national championship game. No other player had but one start on that entire offense. Somebody started one game. Can't remember who it was in the NFL. And Cam, started however many games he started. But only one player started one game in the NFL on that entire offense. Only one other player on that team made it to the NFL, and that was Nick Fairley, who played defensive tackle, played for the Lions for a few years. What do you think about Cam getting his jersey retired in Auburn, though?
Man, I mean, it's long overdue.
Definitely.
He is, even though he only played 1 year, he has to be on there Mount Rushmore of players right there next to, I forget, I want to call him by his first name, but Vincent Jackson.
Yeah. Bo
Vincent Bo Jackson. He's right up there with him.
Absolutely.
I don't, I just think, like I say, it's long overdue.
Mm-hmm.
I think really the way Auburn forced him to separate himself from their father during their championship run really kind of soured him. It's almost like they thought his dad was lying about him not taking money.
They definitely thought he was lying. They pretty much came out and said it. You lying.
But like Cam, I heard Cam talk about this. He said we from the hood. If we had got that kind of money, you would have knew we had some money.
Can't hide money. You just showed up with some watch. It would look like the first NIL deal.
Yeah, he was like, nah, my dad didn't get that kind of money, and if he did, Dad did a good job of
a great job of hiding it.
Yeah, because I don't think that was one of those situations where they threatened to suspend him, they threatened whatever, and his dad didn't fold, didn't flinch. Didn't do nothing. He said, I'll stay away from it. I won't go to Heisman. I won't go to any more games. I'll stay away. And his son went ballistic on the field. I guess in hindsight, they should have said, because he was one of the guys that he actually, for a lot of those games, looked like he was a grown man out there playing with little boys.
Yes, that's exactly what it looked like.
And this was in the SEC.
Man.
He was making those dudes look like they were little men,
yeah,
trying to tackle him, whatever. And these guys would ultimately end up being NFL players,
Hall of Famers.
Yeah,
that he's playing against Patrick Peterson and Tyrann Mathieu and C.J. Mosley on the Alabama.
And he's being a bad man out there, acting a baboon. Out there.
My favorite quarterback since. He was the first guy that reminded me of Vince Young. Vince Young is kind of the guy that made me really fall in love with college football, watching him at the University of Texas.
Vince Young was a smooth,
very smooth operator.
Now, and Cam could be smooth, but he also had that other part of him where he would just be a physical monster.
An animal. You trucking defensive linemen, you getting up screaming back into their helmets. Like, we don't see quarterbacks doing that kind of stuff. He came from being behind Tebow, who didn't talk. He just played with grit.
Like I say, I remember when he played, I can't remember, maybe it was South Carolina, and he was going in for the tie or go-ahead touchdown. And rather than the DB take him on up top, he tried to shoestring him, and he drove right over him.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And my point is saying, like, I think there's a certain mentality that we thought about quarterbacks that we didn't realize. At the time, we were like, oh, how you going to try to cut a quarterback?
Yeah.
And then you realize, hey, that dude he's standing next to in that huddle is a 300-pound offensive lineman, and he's looking him eye to eye. And that's when you're like, oh,
yes,
he's not the typical quarterback. He's something different.
Yeah. He's bigger than everyone out there on the defense, outside of maybe the nose tackle. Everybody else out there, he's bigger than you, and he's playing quarterback, man. Absolute man amongst boys is a great way to describe him. That's exactly was the way to describe Cam Newton at Auburn, man. One of my all-time favorite quarterbacks.
For those of you guys who didn't get a chance to see that 2010 season, you missed something that was
Magical.
It hasn't been anything quite like that. There hasn't been another player quite like that. RG3 had a great year. Johnny Manziel.
The closest I can even remember getting that same feeling was watching Lamar Jackson his freshman year play against Florida State. It's two different styles completely.
But here's the deal, though. This is what, and maybe you can understand this. It's not that he played great, but he had maybe 6 or 7 straight big games in a row.
Yes.
Like that was the deal. Like,
that was a
like
difference.
he had 6 or 7 big games in every
Clemson
game.
into LSU and Alabama.
It all looked the same.
Yeah, everything. Down at halftime, we seen the speeches. They got film out now of him giving halftime speeches to his teammates. They come back out, play like some dogs.
And he come out and act a baboon.
Man, Cam Newton was
Red booty style.
The definition of unstoppable in college football was definitely Cam Newton. Shout out to Cam for being able to get his jersey retired. Well, we got a couple minutes here left on Centex Primetime. I want to give out a couple bold predictions, and I want Rocky to do some of his bold predictions we have for football season this upcoming season, folks. Football season, so bold predictions on any level, high school, college, football, NFL, wherever you want to do it. One of them, I'll give a couple of mine out. One, in college football, I think LSU is going to win the SEC this year. I know they're not – it's hard to consider LSU an underdog because they're a premier school, but when you have Georgia – when you got Alabama, when you got the top dog, when you have Texas now in the SEC, that can seem kind of a long shot. Texas right now is the favorite to win it. Georgia's right behind them on the odds. I think LSU has the best returning quarterback in the SEC in Garrett Nussmeier. I think they have a stacked roster. They went out in NIL and spent some bread this offseason. They had one of the worst secondaries. Why they lost almost every game they lost last year? Because they're secondary. They bring in 6 of the top transfers in the DB room to come in to help fill in their secondary. They get the number 1 corner in the South in DJ Pickett, a 6'5" freshman corner that's going to probably start for them this year as well. I like LSU and what they're building out there, man. That's one of my bold predictions for them. NFL, I have a couple of them. One of them, I kind of started alluding to this last year. I think this is, in NFL, the first year that we're going to, in the last decade, that we're going to watch an AFC championship game and the Kansas City Chiefs will not be in it. I think this is the first time since 2018 that the Kansas City Chiefs will not be in the AFC championship game. That could look like, I think Baltimore is going to be a staple in there. That's my guys I have. I think behind them, we can see a Josh Allen. I think behind them, we can see some other up-and-coming contenders that could just honestly get the right matchup in the playoffs and make their way, similar to the Commanders last year. You get the right matchups, you make your way into the AFC Championship. That's one of them I have in the NFL. Another one I have, this one is college football, and this is not just this year, but I think going forward, I think that the Baylor Bears will make the college football playoffs before the Texas A&M Aggies make the college football playoffs. They were right there on the brink last year. A&M was just outside of that college football playoffs. I think Baylor, whether that be this season, maybe the season after, will make a college football playoff appearance before we see the A&M Aggies make a college football playoff appearance. Some of that is because Baylor's in the Big 12, easier path, and A&M is in the SEC. But we just see the consistent, repeated behavior from A&M over the last decade. They start the season out ranked, sometimes top 10, sometimes top 5. 6 out of the last 6 years they started the season ranked and have finished unranked in the last 6 years for the Texas A&M Aggies. My last one is the Jaguars after this season will give up on Trevor Lawrence as their starting quarterback. They're going to pull the plug on the Trevor Lawrence experiment. Those are some of my bold predictions. I think Trevor Lawrence obviously is a pretty decent quarterback, but after seeing him in preseason, even though he had a better second game than he did his first game, thinking about this division, thinking about the AFC, I don't see how the Jags are going to find themselves successful, and I think Trevor Lawrence will end up getting the brunt of that decision because this current regime, new GM, new head coach, new offensive coordinator, new quarterback coach, none of these guys started with Trevor Lawrence. None of these guys picked Trevor Lawrence. He goes out and have the bad season. Somebody's got to get the finger pointed at them. Maybe that'll be Trevor Lawrence. Those are some of my bold predictions I have for this upcoming football season. Rocky, you can rebuttal to any of those, or you can give me your bold predictions that you have as well for any level of football coming up for this upcoming football
like
season.
I said, I don't think I think all of those are plausible.
Yeah.
I got one off the top of my head that I know that I believe. I believe neither Ohio State or Michigan will win the Big Ten this year.
Okay.
All right. Of course, Michigan probably, they're dealing with their situation, but I don't believe for something about Ohio State's quarterback that I don't.
Yeah,
I don't
Julian's
think
saying, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's meshing. The one, again, I suspect Baylor will have a good season. But I'm just not sure. Like I say, man, you know how I feel about Sawyer Robertson.
Yeah.
I need to see more. I need to see him in some big games, doing more. That bowl game really left a bad taste in my mouth.
Against LSU for sure. Definitely.
So that's one thing. And considering a lot of LSU players didn't play, they still got whacked.
Still got mopped the whole game, start to finish.
So that was kind of tough. So I think that in the NFL, the Trevor Lawrence deal, I think that's pretty,
Yeah.
Now, what they going to do with that dead cap money, I don't know.
We don't know.
I just don't see a situation where Kansas City doesn't play in the AFC Championship.
Okay.
I don't see that being part of the future. I believe that means that when they finish, okay, let me tell you what that means. That means that they finish in a situation where they have to play both with Buffalo and Lamar, and they lose to both. I see them losing to one. I don't see them losing to both. You know what I mean? I don't see either they lose to both in that they finish. First off, they have to finish behind both of them, one or both, in the standings.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because if they finish above them, I think they're guaranteed to be in the
which they've been doing the last decade.
Now, if they finish below them, they still only have to beat one of them to play in the championship. So, and I think they can beat one of them.
Yeah, and that's why I put them. If I had to have a bold prediction, why I did that, because I think they're going to be more, instead of 15-2 like last year, I think they're more 11-5 type of team this upcoming season. With that being said, if you play first round and it is Josh Allen or it is Lamar, and then second round you play either one of those guys too, I think it could get tricky. Not saying he can't beat him.
I got a bold prediction.
Okay.
And this is for my Cowboy fans out there.
This is what we wanted.
I'm going to give it to you
This
right
is what
here.
we wanted.
You're getting it right here from me, from my lips to your ears. Brian Schottenheimer will not be the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys next season.
1-year deal for old Shotty. I'm not mad at that. I could, with the sporadicness of the current front office, meaning Jerry Jones.
I've seen nothing in preseason that makes me believe that he's going to be back as quarterback. He actually got a job where he's probably the only guy Jerry was the only guy that would hire him for a job.
For a head coach.
Nobody else would hire.
Not
and
one
so
team.
that's why all you single guys out there, I want y'all to have hope about it, right? If you're out there struggling with the women and you're not able to find that special someone, I don't want you to give up. Don't throw in the towel. Don't switch teams. Don't do any of that. Because it only takes one to say yes, and then you can be a happily married man like me and Jay.
Yeah.
All it takes is one, right?
All it take one yes.
Yeah.
You can get 100 no's. Only take one yes.
Yeah.
That's
So,
what they teach you in business school.
Think now, fortunately, Nia and Keisha ain't give us up after 1 year. But I think Jerry.
He might be ready.
I think Jerry said yes, and he's going. After what I think this season is going to be, and what I mean by that, I think we go back to our status quo season of 8-8.
Yep, that's what it's looking like. This looks like.
And how can you fire
12-win coach.
A
McCarthy.
12-win coach who ended up having to play more than half the season with backup quarterback. How do you then go?
Still won 7 games, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. And how do you then go to hire a new guy? He has Dak. He has
Everybody
CD.
else.
He has the salary that he's paying. Going to have to end up paying Micah. And then you go 8-8. I just think Jerry won't stand for that, and he'll get him out of there.
Yeah, I'm not mad at that one at all. I could definitely see that, especially after you broke it down. I don't think he has that much loyalty to Shotty. I think there was that loyalty to a fault with Jason Garrett. Some people felt like that with Mike McCarthy. I don't think it was loyal to a fault because he was, at the end of the day, he was winning 12 games.
And I think Jerry, just think about this. This is my last little point I'm going to make. I think Jerry has a soft spot for legacy guys.
Yes.
You got to remember.
Yes, he does.
He hired Wade Wilson, whose dad was in the NFL. He hired Jason Garrett, whose dad was a scout for the Cowboys. He hired he's now hired Shotty. His dad was an NFL guy.
Yep.
I think that father-son legacy kind of situation, I think Jerry's really into that because of the way he runs his business and what he hopes his sons are able to do with the franchise after he's long gone. But Jerry, what I tell you to do, if you want to make sure this franchise stays on top years after you're gone, sell it.
Thank you. That's what I was going to say.
Sell it.
There's a thing out here that's called
Get that 10 Billy.
minority ownership.
Get that 12 Billy.
Yeah.
And move on. You and your kids
And
your
still keep
family.
us minority state.
Yeah.
We just watched the Buses do it with the Lakers. We watched Michael Jordan do it, who, shout out to Jay Williams. He gave a great breakdown on his show talking about Michael Jordan and his exit from the Charlotte Hornets, who actually is not getting enough credit. We always think, the Charlotte Hornets were terrible every single year. He actually did a phenomenal job in actually running the Charlotte Hornets business-wise. Turning $280 million into $3 billion is successful. And they were the only team, one of the only teams in the NBA that were consistently in the green. Because I think a little over half the teams in the NBA finish in the red every year as far as finances. Every single year Michael Jordan was the owner, they consistently finished in the green. Saying a lot when you're in a small market like Charlotte and you get in at 285 and you exit at $3 billion.
Yeah, he did all right.
Yeah, he did all right. He's the GOAT for a reason. But with Jerry, same thing, man. You can keep the team. You can still be a minority owner. Your name is still going to be on everything. You can change it to the Fighting Jerry Joneses, but you got to sell it if you want the team to be successful. So I'm with you on that one. Schottenheimer. Last NFL team I want to talk about before we get off here. Chicago Bears. They come out, they blow the Bills out. Everybody's happy for them. It's preseason, of course, but they blow the Bills out. Caleb Williams makes quick decisions, something we have not seen from him last year, something we didn't see from him at USC.
Oh, he made sharp. He made quick decisions at USC and the Bears. He dropped back and he had a duck.
yeah. That was exactly his quick decision. But he looked better, obviously, in that preseason game. What do you think about the Bears this upcoming year,
people
man?
like to see him get rid of football. Like I say, man, I had no – look at here. If Ben Johnson can dial it up for Jared Goff, and me personally, I don't think Jared Goff is anything special. He's a pretty good fantasy play if you want to play him at quarterback.
He's great in fantasy.
But he's not my type of guy at quarterback. And if Ben Johnson can dial it up for Jared Goff, he certainly can dial it up for Caleb Williams. The issue is always going to be with a guy like Caleb Williams, with the ability that he has. Does he have a team around him to allow him to play on schedule and occasionally play off script?
Yeah.
Because I think his nature is to improvise and get busy. And when he gets that quick pressure, when the plays break down, he's going to always have that improvisational impulse. And so, especially as long as he has that dynamic athletic ability that he has. So he's just going to have to settle down, play within the system, play within the structure. And for him to do that, he's going to have players around him. And I think he does. This is the first year talking about the offensive line and also the complement of tight ends. He has the kind of team where he can be more of a distributor rather than a playmaker.
Yeah, I agree. I think not only can he have success because of Ben Johnson, but they're almost stacking the deck here. Their offense, as far as if you look at how Ben Johnson likes to run his teams and what they want to do, this offense looks kind of loaded. You spoke about the tight end. I think they're going to have probably the best tight end room, one of them in the league when you think about Cole Kmet, who's been a really good player, and you add Colston Loveland, who I think could turn into a really good player. You draft Luther Burden. You draft Rome Odunze. You still got DJ Moore out there. The improvements to the offensive line, no one made more improvement to the offensive line than the Chicago Bears this year. The second Ben Johnson got the job, they go and trade for Joe Tooney, who's won 4 or 5 Super Bowls with the Chiefs and Patriots. They go and get Drew Dahlman, who was the big-name center on the market from the Atlanta Falcons. They trade for Jonah Jackson, the guy that was in Detroit with Ben Johnson. And then they got 3 first-round picks at tackles that they can pick from, and whoever plays the best is who's going to be their 2 guys out there. I like what they did. I think they're going to make improvements. I didn't want to put them on the bold prediction. I don't think it's that bold to say that they're a playoff contender this upcoming season. But I don't see them being, a 10-win, 11-win team, anything like that, because of the division they're in. The division is brutal. That had to play in its best division in the NFC.
I mean, they're one of the few teams that, if you look at their schedule, they could be 9-8 or 8-9 and still have had a successful season.
Yes.
Based on who they played. Because again, they're in a tough conference. Now, I think they have a added advantage this year in this regard. I don't expect much out of Minnesota.
Yeah, me either.
So, depending on how bad Minnesota is, and then if they can steal a game or 2 from Green Bay and Detroit, if they split with those guys and sweep Minnesota, then you're looking at them have a 4-2 record in their division, and then they have to then go find 6 games on their schedule. I think they can do that.
Yeah.
I think it's more likely that they'll finish 500 in their conference.
Yeah,
so,
I think if they do that, for sure, I think they can almost maybe even a shoe in, because I'm like you, Minnesota's falling out of that playoff spot, in my opinion. I don't see J.J. McCarthy leading them back to the playoffs this year. If that be the case, Caleb Williams didn't have a chance. But like we talked about with Baylor and some of these other teams, they got to come out ready from the start. They got Minnesota week 1, Detroit week 2, Dallas week 3. So they're going to figure out – we'll figure out about these Bears very early. Will they be able to get this offensive going? But I think they will. They start out the season on Monday Night Football playing against the Minnesota Vikings. Folks, we're out of time here today on Centex Primetime. I want to thank everybody for tuning in with us, not just here today, but for the past year. We've had a lot of fun up here on Centex Primetime. Looking forward to another great year. Don't forget about Friday Night Flex starting next Friday right here on Centex Sports Network, where we're going to cover all things high school football in the Central Texas area. Also, we'll be doing more here on Centex Primetime as we get further up throughout the season as well. Want to thank everybody for tuning in. Want to thank Rocky and Wayne for coming on here with us for the 1-year anniversary show here, folks. Make sure you guys subscribe to that YouTube. As always, Centex Sports Network / Centex Sports TV. Check out our website, CentexSportsNetwork.com, and go back and watch these episodes. We had our sales rep, Anthony Powell, come on here and talk a little bit about what we're trying to do here in the city. Him and Rocky got to have kind of a business conversation on here, something I love to do here more on Centex Primetime. And Rocky, you guys doing HBCU Coach Corner this week?
We got the head coach of Tennessee State, Reggie Barlow. He's going to be on with us tonight.
Absolutely.
That's why I'm headed to my in-home studio, get that interview done. We've been doing overtime, Jalen.
Yeah.
We've had the head coach. Last night we had the head coach of Grambling State University, Mickey Joseph. Also on Sunday we had Alabama A&M's head coach Sam Shade, along with Alcorn State's head coach Cedric Thomas. And on last Friday we had a coach from Alabama State, Eddie Robinson Jr. So we've been making our way through the SWAC.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to going out to Atlanta this weekend and watching SWAC MEAC Challenge, watching NCCU, North Carolina Central, play Southern University. So that should be a good one. Those are both top 5 HBCU team ranked in the top 5 of the Black College Football poll. So top 5 matchup is always good.
Definitely, always good. Great way to start out the season, too, for HBCU football. I know y'all excited for it. I'm definitely excited for it. HBCU football here as well. So make sure you guys check out HBCU Coaches Corner coming on in just a few minutes, as a matter of fact, here. But we're going to get out of here today, folks. We'll be back here tomorrow to keep going throughout the week. Plenty more to talk about here as football season has started here on Centex Primetime. We will see you guys then. Everybody have a great evening.